I mean, unfortunately, for many people, especially younger people, I mean, and I know because I am a father of two sons, and my sons are already not kids. I mean, like my older one is 30, our younger one is 27. Um, it is a growing feel of entitlement in young generation
Mm,
that we are entitled to something, and in this life. I mean, like with God, if, as an image of Christ as a creation, yes. I mean, like we are entitled to many things, but even that entitlement requests some labors. I mean, like it's not. We don't believe that salvation just comes. Well, just because I'm entitled, just because I'm baptized, I'm automatically saved. No, I mean, like it takes a life of fighting for yourself. It's actually not only fighting for yourself, fighting your own self. That's what we uh, all Christian life is. As uh, in one of interviews, Metropolitan Onufri, my spiritual father, he said that um, he was describing his monastic journey. And he said, like, basically, a monastery is like you do what you don't want to do, and you don't do what you want to do. That's a Christian life. I want to sin. I want to do all of this stuff that are not good for me, but because out of my love to God and desire for salvation and communication with Him, I follow His law, not the law of the sinful, fallen world. Or, I'm not even talking about real like laws that of a state of something, but law of sin. Let's put it in this way. Uh, so we have to, first of all, trust God. Sometimes we think that we know what we need, but in fact, probably in my life, probably good, at least 80% of what I desire for myself is not good for me. And therefore, when I entrust my life to hands of God and trust Him and thank Him for everything that I have in this moment, then all of a sudden, like my life starts making sense. Of course, I want to be successful in this world. Of course, I want to, and God wants me to. But if that or this job that I desire will turn me into some kind of heathen, will take me farther from God, perhaps God is not going to give it to me because it's bad for me. Uh, so we have to kind of look at uh, at our life and try to synchronize it with the God's will, our will with the God's will. The world is changing very quickly right now with development of technology. I mean, like as you say, I remember first time when internet was, uh, just introduced. Never mind, like I remember the cell phones that were like big as a brick. I mean, like our communication was if you're on a highway, you stop, you have to look for some kind of pay phone to put some coins and make a call or somewhere. Now, I mean, communication, news traveling, information's traveling. Now, artificial intellect is upon us. Uh, Everything is changing. So our brain is not perhaps designed to keep with all this changes. So we have to kind of step back a little bit. and limit the intake of information, because overload is not good for us. Um, so we have to put our trust in God. Don't put your trust into the princes of this world. Don't be smart and learn how to discern and how to analyze things. It doesn't mean that if something comes from the official news or YouTube information, it's automatically good or bad. You have to turn your mind on and think about it. And I'm kind of looking, do I need all of these things around me, this fancy stuff? I mean, that I'm working so hard to, not really. I mean, even going to Canada, I mean, you kind of cross the border and you will see how everything is, all of a sudden, everything is much smaller. Like houses are smaller, apartments are smaller, cars are smaller. We want all of this, big, 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 and it's expensive, and especially in California, I mean, where it's all driven by material success and stuff like that. It's. I'm not saying that wealth is bad in itself, but it doesn't make us happy. It gives us means to do something, but it doesn't mean, in itself, it doesn't make us happy. So, if you would give me some specific stuff, perhaps I will have better idea too. But in general, I think that we should put our priorities in order, and the priority of finding God and developing relationship with God, in my view, it's a first priority that we should do. Then find people that share your views, that share your interest, that you can have a conversation, and perhaps, making friends. I mean, that's priority number two. And then, family, and then somewhere there, I mean, if you do all of this stuff, God knows what you need. He'll provide. It doesn't mean that you will sit on the couch and just wait and it will fall off the sky, but if you persevere, I mean, he knows your needs, and he knows your potentials, and he definitely will kind of, if it's good for you, he'll provide. And I'm judging on myself. I mean, I am not. I moved out of Soviet Union, not because, actually, I didn't move because of a economical situation. I moved more about political and moral situation. But economical part of it was also present. So listen, if this is the focus of your life, you just don't expect that anybody will be just will bring something to you on a platter. I mean, you'll have to work for it. And actually, if you work for it, I think you really learn how to appreciate it, and to see a real value in all of the things, and uh, understand that this material things are not something that makes you happy. So that's, I think, the kind of main thing that why uh, our lives are sometimes we feel that we are lost in our own lives. Uh, Perhaps because the focus of our life uh, is somewhere else. Instead of looking at unity with God and communication and growing in Him, we look we are too self-centered. We are too preoccupied with our own self rather than being preoccupied with him and entrusting him our own self and accepting his will in our own self or for our own self.
Father, one of the stories that gets brought up a lot from people that I've had conversations with on the subject of allowing God's will to work with us is the book of Job. And a lot of people don't understand why God would allow these things to happen to somebody that was very faithful to him. So, and I think why I bring that up because I think it's really relevant to what you're talking about in terms of understanding the way that God will work in our lives, right? Could you maybe elaborate on the core message that we can take away from like a book of Job, or maybe even other books of the Bible that may sort of like resemble that same how do I put it? That same or that mirrors that behavior of God in other places of the Bible.
Sometimes, I mean, like the question why is wrong question. Question is that let accept and accept what God give you and be happy. Find the happiness in that. It's very hard to find happiness in illness. Very fine. But that's why the trust in God's will, I mean, like, if you actually, it was a few times that in my life, that I was witnessing the suffering of really faithful person. And and they were in comfort. Physically, they were suffering. But spiritually, this person said that, well, I know why I'm sick. I caused my own illness, basically, through whatever living. And it brings me closer to God. My suffering brings me closer to God. And I trust him. When I start feeling sorry for myself, that makes me miserable, not only physically, but also mentally, also morally, also spiritually.